So, if there is something that you would like to say to your immediate family.
To my immediate family.
Welcome to the Healing Project Behind the Scenes YouTube channel. If you or anyone in your family and friends would like to show your support towards the Healing Project, feel free to order one or more of our t-shirts. Simply email us at allwedoiswinforyou@gmail.com. All proceeds goes towards the funding of the ongoing Healing Project documentary. If you would like to support our team, you can Cash App us at the profile provided in the description below. Any support by you is greatly appreciated by our team. Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the Healing Project YouTube channel. Today we have something a little different. I also have our onboard chicken, Claudette, with us right now. She's chilling with me. But today we have something a little special. Prior to getting all these interviews and everything started, we were actually filming the Tune In tour. And while we were filming the Tune In tour, we started the Healing Project. We started to put messages out there, emails out there, and putting things out, put the message out there that we wanted to interview people. Now, there was one person in particular that I saw. Her name was Summer Douglas, and when she messaged us and I saw her story and her backstory, little did she know is that when we were heading to Atlanta with the Tune In tour, she was actually being interviewed to be a co-host of the Healing Project. So look forward to in the future, you're going to be seeing a lot of interviews. I think the next interview that we're going to actually show is going to be a YouTube interview as well. There are interviews that we're going to continue to do. Part of those interviews are for the documentary series. Part of those interviews also for social media outlets and sites. And then part of the other interviews are for the actual motion film. Now, the motion film that's going to show people living their best life and actually doing things with their life, kind of like us right now. So we're looking for people that are actually doing something extremely amazing, and we would like to talk to you as well. But we're going to show you our interview with Summer Douglas. Please like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to do that, but like and subscribe. Share if you like. But make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to it. You'll keep getting updates on where we're at, what we're doing, and the progress as well. But we definitely need your support. You ready to get down? I think she wants to get down. So, hope you enjoy this. Like, subscribe, don't forget, and we will see you soon. Peace. What's that? What's that?
First.
You're the first?
Yeah.
Yes, you are the first.
Of your chair?
You are the first. Right here. We got it on camera right now. You are the first.
Oh, God.
We have Summer Douglas. We are in Atlanta, Georgia right now. I'm at my Uncle Tony's house. And we have her here. I was looking for someone to interview. And, of course, you know what the topic is. And it's about the ex-Jehovah's Witness community. It's about Jehovah's Witnesses. But it's also about all of the cults out there that affect us all. So everybody say hi to Summer. Hello there. So we just want to go ahead and set the tone. Everybody set the tone.
Cheers.
Cheers to you as well. Would this be something that For some Jehovah's Witnesses, would this be something that would be looked at as?
Oh, we can't cheers.
Yeah,
That's spirits.
That's what. Okay.
That's demons released into the atmosphere.
So
if we cheers.
were you allowed to do cheers?
No. That's demonic.
Where are you from?
I'm actually from Chicago. I was born in like Harvey, Illinois, raised in the south side of Chicago for a while, and then moved to Wisconsin, a little small suburb called Kenosha.
Oh, okay. So how was life there? Describe your childhood to us.
It was very simple. It was very simple. Just remember a lot of meetings, a lot of time out in service. And
what is service for the viewers that don't even know? So we're gonna have to walk some of our viewers through it, because one of the things that's so hard to explain, and I think you can relate with me, is that if you're not in it, or you were not in it, it's hard to relate to it.
Agree. So service, what they call field service, kind of like missionary work, where you go to people's homes to make sure that they knew about the Bible and they knew about God, and that they knew that they need to be saved, and we were the answer. So I was quoting scriptures when I was like 4 years old. I would say, my name is Summer Douglas, and John, whatever says this, I don't even remember. I think it was Revelation 21 something, and I would say, look, for God is making all things new. And so people were just impressed. Now I know, like, they're like, oh, she's so cute, she's so little, and she knows something. And, they would, be receptive to that. I felt like I was being used, later on. But but that's, my parents pimped me out a little bit, but that's okay. Like, it was all, it was all for, the religion and stuff like that. So I remember a lot of time walking door to door and knocking on people's doors, and in the cold, in the rain, in the snow, it did not matter. We were out there for sure.
What was your feeling when you were younger? So about that time, let's take your life into these little slots of periods of life. Okay, so let's say from you're born in. That's the first question.
Yeah.
So you were born in.
Yeah, for sure.
How many in your family? So let's start from the immediate family and let's spread out. So
our immediate family was kind of small. I had an older brother and sister, and there's like a decade, between us. So,
oh wow! So you were the youngest.
I was the youngest.
Okay,
baby.
Right. Got you, the baby.
Yeah.
The black sheep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm the baby.
Right. Okay.
The black sheep.
There you go.
For sure. 100%.
Right.
So go ahead. So you got the two brothers.
I got a brother and a sister.
And a sister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And they're both older.
Both older.
And then who's the middle child? Is it?
My brother's the middle child. My sister was the oldest.
So she's the oldest. And then going from there, you got your parents, of course.
Yep.
And
that's pretty much it. We didn't have a really big family.
But you were where you were at as far as, okay, here's the question. So do you have other family?
I have other extended family. I've never met most of them because they're not Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay.
So I did have a couple of cousins, that were older because I was the youngest. I had a couple of cousins that I knew, like two, literally, 1, 2, and that was it. But my grandmother had like 10 kids. So I've never met like 75% of my family because I was a Jehovah's Witness and because they were deemed bad association. So because they were not in the truth or a Jehovah's Witness, I was never allowed to meet my other cousins or, whatever because of that.
Take us through school. Mm-hmm. Elementary
school was interesting. I remember just feeling very nervous all the time because every morning was the Pledge of Allegiance and I couldn't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance because that means that you are representing, Satan and his worlds or whatever. So I had to sit down and everybody was looking at me why I couldn't stand up. And then, I remember like my mother coming in before school started to tell my teacher, like, Summer's not going to be partaking in any Halloween or any birthdays. So you need to be able to send her somewhere else. So I was like sentenced to another room while everybody else was doing trick or treating or Christmas stuff or, singing, Santa Claus coming to town, stuff like that I couldn't participate in. So I was put in a little like a detention center.
Yeah.
And, kind of just sat there by myself the whole time. So I felt very alienated and couldn't really foster friendships because everybody knew I was different, but they didn't know why I was different. They liked me and they wanted to be my friend, but they also were kind of scared to be
There was this Trump wall around you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So it was childhood, elementary, even high school, and it got worse. You would think it would get easier. It gets worse because you couldn't go to dances. So, boys would try to ask me out, but they were like, don't ask her out because, no, she's just going to say no. Don't ask.
They knew what the outcome was going to be.
She can't do it. She's not going to go. She's going to say, it's against my religion. Yep. That's the tagline of my life.
Yes.
From elementary to high school was, it's against my religion.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember having to go to the library and through all the holidays.
Yeah.
And there's a picture that is locked in my mind because I was there so many times in elementary school. And it was a picture, it was like a story of the Wizard of Oz. And I remember looking at the lion and the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and Dorothy. And that whole picture, that memory, whatever it was called. I mean, not even gonna. I have a brain fart. Right. I'm not gonna try and search for it. The mural. There we go. So that is locked and welded in my brain to this day. I can every detail of it because I knew everybody else was having fun.
Yep.
And enjoying the time together. So, but I had that wall with that interesting painting. And that's what I had. Yeah. So take us through your rebellion in middle school.
I didn't have a rebellion.
You didn't have a rebellion?
No, I just did not live my best life.
We got a saint here.
I was so fixated.
All praises to Joe.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was so fixated on making my parents happy and making them proud, because I felt like if I could make them proud, then there would be less arguments and less, things happening in our household. Mm-hmm. So if I wasn't the problem, then they will be happy, and everybody's happy and, I'm happy and yay, so I'm just going to do whatever you tell me to do, just to make sure that you're okay, to kind of pacify you. Forget what I feel is right or what I think I want to do. I dare not say, I want to be a cheerleader or I want to be on pom-poms or I want to go to the school dance. No, that's going to start a whole argument. So I just played the role. I just did whatever they wanted me to do. And I did it 100%.
Were you baptized?
I was baptized when I was 11 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were just you were getting your cheeks pinched by everyone, or what was it?
So I asked a question.
Were you the trophy?
I was asking a question about what we were believing. At that time we were studying the Greatest Man Who Ever Lived book. Yeah. And I was saying, if miracles happened back then, why can't they happen today? And then I was 10. So I was just asking a question as a curious child. I don't understand. If they happened then why can't we do them now? And I don't get it. And so I was told at that time that I sounded like I was one of Satan's children. And that I should stop asking questions like that because then I would be deemed as an apostate. So I didn't want to be, an apostate. That was the worst thing.
This is your mind process, your thought process at what age?
10.
Okay.
I knew that was bad. Apostate was bad.
Yes.
And God
the worst of the worst.
Not like apostates, right? You would just die and no hope of nothing. So I was like, well, I don't want to be an apostate. Let me go 100% the other way. And so that's when I started doing the questions for, what they say, I forgot what it was called, questions for baptism.
Yeah, the questions for baptism. Yeah, I forgot the name of the book. Theocratic. No, wait, hold on. Y'all know what you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I did those. What it was 21 questions or something. I don't know, maybe it was 50 cents. I don't remember. But it was too many questions for a 10-year-old to comprehend. And no one thought that this was a problem. I don't know why no one thought it was a problem.
Did you feel like it was passed through, or did you really study?
No, I really did.
Okay.
Like I knew everything.
Okay.
Because I had to. Because my dad was an elder, but he wasn't just an elder. He was a presiding overseer.
I was about to say, don't tell me he's a PO.
He's a presiding
overseer.
overseer.
My dad was a PO.
And then he was also a substitute circuit overseer. So they were like at the top.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so all eyes are on me, right?
Wow.
In our family. So you had to be exceptional.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You had to set the example. What was it that started you to change your thought process? Because you were so passionate for so long. When was it? When your brain was it always there, or what did it slowly come about?
It came after I was going through a divorce. I got married when I was like 20 or 21. I think 19. I just turned 21. Right. Yeah. Because
scared of getting disfellowship there.
And you can't have sex before you're married. So let's hurry up and get married.
So look at that.
That out the way.
We just met, by the way. And we got the same stories coming. So y'all know my story, but let's keep it going.
Yeah, right. So let's hurry up and get married so we can find out what sex is like.
Were the elders involved in a little bit, or
my divorce?
No, in your marriage.
Oh yeah. For sure.
All right.
Like, please don't let my fiance at the time put his arm around me, because that would stumble. Yeah. I got sent to the back room because he put his arm on the chair. Room? Oh, the back room is where you go when you're bad. I know it sounds so bad.
We got the black sheep here.
The back room. Some people call it the blue room. Yep. It's where you go when you've done something wrong and they need to talk to you about what you did that was wrong. And it's never a good meeting. No one goes to the back room and says, "Hey, I had a meeting in the back room." The elders in the congregation will say, "Hey, so and so came up to us and they feel really bad about the length of your skirt. It's right above your knee," or so and so put his arm on your chair and that looked like you all were married, and so you have to be careful with public displays of affection.
Full control.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Yeah.
So you got married, 20.
I got married and got divorced. Like, of course, 6 years later. Of course I got divorced. I know what I was doing. I got divorced.
How long were you married?
I was married for 6 years.
6 years, okay.
Yeah.
I was married for 13.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I hung in.
Yeah, you did. I was out. This is not it. I left, and when I left, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, we had our meeting with the elders, of course, because you have to have their approval to get a divorce. And so we had our meeting with the elders, and the elders were like, "She hasn't done nothing. Like, what's your problem?" to my ex-husband. But when I left, everybody started treating me like I did something wrong. They stopped talking to me. I was a regular pioneer since I was 18. So by this time, it's been like a decade of me regular pioneering.
Wow. What is required to be a regular pioneer?
To be a regular pioneer, you have to, well, at the time, you had to dedicate at least 90 hours.
So now we're walking the neighborhood, and so this is kind of like how it is in regular pioneering. So this would be considered what they call the pioneer walk.
Right.
So what is
AKA the Pioneer Shuffle.
The Pioneer Shuffle.
Right.
So what is the Pioneer Walk or the Pioneer Shuffle?
The Pioneer Shuffle is when you just do the little bit, because you need to stretch your time. The longer time you spend walking, then the more closer you are to God. More hours you can put into service that you gave of yourself. So you don't want to walk too quick. You don't want to get the territory done, too fast, because then what are you going to do?
That's right.
Because nobody wants to talk to you.
But you had to make those hours that you were speaking about. And so those 90
like a full-time job. So you got to think about it. It was like 10 or 12-hour days.
So you would wear yourself out
that you didn't get paid for. Yeah, absolutely. No, you don't do that.
Wow.
No. Of what most will call missionary work a month.
So regular pioneering, how many hours did you have to dedicate to that?
90 hours a month. In addition to like your regular job. You know what I mean? Like you still had to have a job.
So you were working. Were you working part-time or full-time?
Of course, part-time, because your full-time belonged to Jehovah. Like you had to make sure that you had 90 hours every month, or some months like you had to get a little bit over, because God forbid you get sick, you know what I mean, or want to go on vacation. So you definitely had to do a little bit over, probably like 100 hours a month, so you kind of like have a cushion, right? So you have your time in before the end of the year, because they would calculate each hour that you dedicate to service, and the more hours you did in field service or like in missionary work, like the better Christian you were, like the more pleased Jehovah was.
So the more time you dedicated, then that was something that would make you shine a little more.
Like you have a gold star,
and you want it to shine more.
Right.
Okay. And take us through the week. So you not only had the regular pioneering, but then you also had the meetings.
Yeah.
Then you had the personal. So take us through like what a week looked like.
So at that time we had 3 meetings a week, right? We had the Sunday meeting, the like Tuesday or Thursday, depending on your demographic, meeting, and then you also had like a book study. Like, so you had like 3 to 4 meetings a week. The meetings would be like 2 hours or more long. And so for the meetings, you had to study for them. You had to be prepared to understand what was going to be discussed, so you can contribute and you could answer questions and you could be knowledgeable on the subject matter that we're talking about.
Let's take as a regular pioneer, let's go to a Thursday, which would be a Wednesday.
Thursday was a hectic day because you had to make sure that you got off work or whatever in time, because the meeting started at like around 7 o'clock. So you had to make sure that you got off. So you got off by 5 o'clock. You had to make sure that you showered, changed, got dressed, and was at the meeting at least, because good Christians come 20 minutes before the meeting. That's I don't know if you knew that.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
But if you get there like 5 minutes or before, they're kind of looking at you sketchy. Yeah. So you had to be there at least 20 minutes before to talk to everybody and make sure you socialize and all of that stuff. So, but before we get to Thursday, on Wednesday, you had to prepare for Thursday. And I don't remember if you remember the written review.
Yes, I remember the written review. 100%. Yep.
That was the worst. Yes. So you had a written review, right? And back then they had a clip. Did you have
Kingdom
clipboards?
Ministry, I had the clipboards and everything. Yep.
So they give you like a test, like a pop quiz about all the things that you've learned.
That's right.
And that you had to get them right. And like if you got, like a lot of check marks, it was like, oh no, you're about to be a worldly person.
The written review. It was the SATs.
on a quarterly basis,
right?
On a quarterly basis, we had SATs. So I would have, it was.
You always
hard.
wanted to sit next to somebody that was definitely trying to shine.
Oh yeah, for sure, because you kind of lean over like, true, false. What did you get for number 10? I don't know.
True, false was easy. Then they got to the multiple choice.
Yeah. Oh, the fill in the blanks. Don't forget about the fill in the blanks. It was like, oh, Jehovah. I don't know.
That's right. So you were zealous. You were pushing forward, but what was going on inside Summer's mind?
I was waiting for it to end, because when you grow up in that type of environment, you are taught from like the earliest memory I have is a watchtower talking about the end is coming soon, and that I had to be ready. Right? So God forbid, like you can't slip, like you can't make a mistake at all. Like please don't take a Halloween candy, don't lick a birthday cake icing, like don't do anything wrong, because that could separate you from your family. Like your family would be on one side and you would never see them again. So kind of growing up in that, I was waiting for it I was always waiting for Armageddon to come.
I was just about to ask.
So it could be over.
What was Armageddon to you, and what age can you remember that Armageddon became a fearful thing for you?
I think my earliest memory, it was like a watchtower that talked about the end of the world.
Do you remember the cover?
Like fire. There was I just remember there being fire falling from the air. It was horrible. It was fire falling from the air, and it was the end is coming soon. Are you ready? And it was always that little zing that they put in, what are you doing to be ready? And I remember I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and feeling that fear because I feel like the premise is based on fear.
Yes.
To keep you
Fear is a seller.
To keep you doing certain things that normally like your soul is going against, but you're also afraid of not having a relationship with your family, or people moving on without you, or you being left out. So it kind of propels you to do more and more and more, because you don't want to be caught, off guard or anything like that. So
what happened? What woke you up?
So when I went through my divorce, I was I went through a divorce, and at that time I was a regular pioneer who is kind of like respected in the congregation, like, oh, you're a regular pioneer, oh, we love you, and you're a good example, and everybody loves you, and you're kind of like popular, like you're the cool person if you're a regular pioneer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah.
You get all these friends instantly, and then all of a sudden when I went through my divorce, everybody stopped talking to me, like at the same time, and I was all of a sudden bad association. Like nobody wanted to talk to me, and I didn't do anything wrong. Like I got divorced because it was a bad marriage. It was horrible. So I had to leave for my own safety, but no one appreciated that. Like even the elders, they stopped calling me, they stopped checking on me, they stopped talking to me. And so for me it was like, if we are like the best example and we're supposed to embody the image of Christ, who as far as I've learned is supposed to be loving to everyone, why aren't y'all loving me right now? Why aren't y'all showing me love right now? Because I'm doing something that you don't want me to do. So that's when I first learned about conditional love. At that point,
took the words right out of my mouth. So
yeah.
What describe to us the love? You said conditional. What? Take us through your life. Like, was that all your experience? Was that the main basis of love?
I didn't know about conditional love until I told, my parents and my family that, I was going to get divorced. And my dad, who was an elder, presiding overseer, and substitute overseer, circuit overseer at that time, he was like, you know what? You're the spawn of Satan. I can't talk to you right now. Like, I just don't want anything to do with you. And at the time, growing up in that, environment, you knew that Satan was bad. I was like, I'm not bad. I just don't, I don't want to be married. Like, this is horrible. But they alienated me. And so I knew that if I did more, if I tried more, then they would accept me again. But I couldn't go against what I felt on the inside, right? So I learned about conditional love at that point, and I knew that it was going to be a rough road, from then on.
So all your life you grew up thinking that there was this essence of unconditional love.
Yeah. And you didn't get it from just your family, because you had it from hundreds of people, right? Like if I went to Hawaii, like on my graduation trip, and we ended up going to a Kingdom Hall, because God forbid we miss a meeting. So we went to a Kingdom Hall on a Sunday, and these complete strangers were like, "Hey, you're our brother, you are a sister," and they welcome you in like your family, and you have that sense of family anywhere you go. Like if I were to walk into a Kingdom Hall today and said I was Sister Douglas from whatever congregation, they would be like, "Oh, come on in, sister," And so you have that community, and then all of a sudden you don't. And it was like a wake-up call. Like, I don't think this is love. This is not what love is supposed to be.
If you don't mind, I gotta add a little thing for any viewers that is watching right now that have not been a Jehovah's Witness or have not experienced the cult life. So you have this community. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were born in, so from birth, family already had this thing established. And you go through life, and then you go through no national anthem, no holidays, none of this. You can't make friends. They're bad association. You have your whole life, everybody there together.
Yeah.
But they have put it in your brain not to trust anybody outside of that conditional circle.
For sure.
So take us through not having anyone, because your brain Take us through that.
Yeah.
You haven't woke up to the fact that you can have friends.
Yeah.
You can have the bad association is actually the good association.
Right.
So the guys working with us right now, they will be considered bad association, right? Our producer right here would be considered a bad association,
for
correct?
sure, yeah.
So walk us through that experience.
That was a lot because I didn't know who to trust. When I left, I was kind of like, this is not for me. This is some crap. So this is not like what love is. So when I left, I had a conversation with a coworker that I was working with. He was a manager. We were both managers at this one place that we were working. And he told me, like, if you decide to leave, I'll be your family. Like, I'll make sure you're okay. Because I was really scared of leaving because I won't have anybody. I'm out here by myself, and I don't have a foundation. I don't have anything to fall back on. So he was like, I'll be your family. And he tried so hard. And it was hard because it was like in my mind, like, I can't trust you, but you're nice, but I don't know. And then when you go through that, when you leave that religion, that is who you are. So then you go through like an identity crisis of like, who am I really? Because I was never that person. So I went through that for like the first 30 years of my life. And so I went through this thing where I don't know who I am, what I like, what I don't like. Is it okay? I was very sheltered and, almost to a deficiency because you didn't really know how to socialize with people that weren't Jehovah's Witness. So you kind of came off as very pompous and arrogant and prideful without trying because you were taught that you were better than everyone else. And so learning how to be humble was a struggle. It was a struggle for me. And learning how to accept people that weren't clean shaven, that didn't have a crew cut hairstyle, that were just expressive because God forbid you have your hair below your ears or a tattoo.
Which is why I keep it growing.
You're from the underworld, and as far as Jehovah's Witnesses are concerned, like, you are not good just based off of appearance. So learning to stop judging people in itself was a struggle. So I didn't make a lot of friends at first. I took a lot of time to myself to like center and figure out, what I wanted. And through that, it was hard because it's like I was breaking up with my family at the same time. So that foundation that you built and that you knew was all of a sudden kind of like ripped away at the same time, so not just my immediate family, but my extended family, the people again that welcomed you in from other countries and other places. Like, you have a friendship and a familial bond with them. And I feel like that's how they keep you indoctrinated because they kind of say, hey, if you leave us, you're going to lose everything. No one's going to talk to you. And so that in itself was like a really hard time. So I went through it for a long time to try to figure out who I was, what I wanted to do, and still try to be nice. Because I didn't want to be that Jehovah's Witness that went out and got tattoos and, that did the most. Like, I wanted to be the Jehovah's Witness that left, but was still, like, not extreme. You know what I mean? Like, I still wanted to be me because I wanted to prove a point. Like, you don't have to be in that religion to be normal. To be normal.
Yeah, that's right. What was the snap?
What was the final
snap? Thanos.
Yeah. It was
final
just
straw.
It wasn't a clear moment. It was just I started listening to other teachings and reading other books besides the Watchtower, Awake, and the Bible. Like, you're only allowed to read those. So when I started to read other people and their thinking and like the mentality, and even looking at YouTube channels that people that left that religion, that were in it for a long time, or even Bethelites, people that went to Bethel and served and all that stuff, they're like, hey, this is what they really take you through, and it made sense to me, and I was like, this doesn't seem right. And at that point, it was more, I'm very much an actions person. So I don't pay attention to what you say, but what you do. And that's why Jehovah's Witness was a fit for a long time, because they would talk about, the Bible, and then they would act and they would dress like, they were preaching what they were, selling.
So they were acting, in alignment with that. But then when it came to a test of, if I don't do what you want me to do, will you still accept me? And the answer was like a resounding no. We're not going to.
Do you have contact with your family?
None. I reached out to my mom, during the pandemic because she's older. And I just, left a voicemail. I was like, hey, Mom, it's me. I was just checking on you, making sure you're okay, making sure you're healthy and fine. And she didn't respond. I texted her. She didn't respond. But my brother sent a very pointed email that told me that, hey, please don't contact our mother anymore. I'm an elder. If you want to come back to being a Jehovah's Witness, then I'll help you do that. But please stop contacting, our mom, because it's too difficult for her to not talk to you. Mm-hmm. So that was like a punch in the gut, because I just wanted to make sure my mom was still healthy, and make sure she was okay, because any person with a heart would. So that was a lot right there. That was like, I don't understand, I don't understand the existence of how people can continue to live their lives like you never existed. That part right there is just, it's not even forgivable. And then my dad, I had a conversation with him, when I decided I wouldn't want to be a witness anymore. And I knew he was going to take it hard because of how involved he was. And he told me that, you know what, Summer, you're acting like more of a Christian than all of us are right now, because you still love everybody. You still have every love in your hearts for everybody. And we don't. We're not even on the same page anymore. And that kept me going. Like I was doing something right, So I just, it's really hard. Holidays are hard. Every time you think about people getting together with their family, which is what we do because no one's working, and you think that you're not there and you're missing out, like that's a horrible feeling. Like it's overwhelming sometimes. So it takes you to a really dark place. And I feel like that is the objective, to get you to come back. Because if I withhold this from you, then you're going to want it more because you had it before. But no amount of withholding can make me be somebody who I'm not. Like I wasn't created for it. And I really wish that would just be accepted. Like, you're created to be who you're created to be. And that's it. And we accept you regardless. Like that's part of like the unconditional love that I never received.
I heard you have some talents you didn't tell me about, or maybe I missed it when we were talking.
They told on me.
They told on you. Let's take a drink to that.
Yeah. Well, I started playing piano when I started playing piano when I was 11 or 12, and I was doing it for a few years, but you can only go so far, because in that religion they won't allow you to be the best at anything. You can't be the best at anything unless it's in an alignment with,
no self-love.
That word.
No self-love.
Right. So it was downplayed and, cut off and stuff like that. But I do enjoy, music, and I enjoy singing, and I enjoy writing, and all of those things that I have a creative ability to do was not in alignment with their vision or whatever. Like it wouldn't further the kingdom ministry. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like disregarded.
What about extra education, college?
I couldn't go. I really wanted to go to, I wanted to be a lawyer. I really wanted to be a lawyer. But I was told that you would have to do a lot of schooling that would take you away from Jehovah, that would take you away from the people that you love. So it would be bad. You could also go to college and start drinking and, God forbid, have a good time with all these people that weren't Jehovah's Witnesses, and they would convince you to leave that religion. So secular, schooling, even my brother had a scholarship to a few colleges, and he turned them down because he was a Jehovah's Witness, and he never pursued that education. So once I left at 30, I went back to school and I got my degree, and that's how I kind of like prolonged me leaving a little bit, because I was like, I'm in school, I can't go to the meetings, I have to go to college. I'm sorry, I'm involved in school, because I wanted them to get used to the idea of me not doing it, but I'm still me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm me without that. Like, that I wanted them to love who I was as a person, not because of what I did. So that's what it, when you leave, it's like you think that it's all about what you do for somebody that makes them like you. And I've learned that people like you for who you are and not what you do.
That's right.
So that was a new concept for me to embrace. Like, I don't have to try so hard to be perfect. I can just be me. And that's okay.
Amen to that. Love you, girl. Yeah. That's good stuff. Can you give me a hug real quick? Yeah. Hey, you know what? My Aunt Jill came prepared.
Damn it, Jill.
She said she wasn't going to cry.
That's it.
She broke first. I win.
It was your eyes that got me.
We'll drink to that.
It's first try.
Cheers to all our exes out there. Cheers. We know you're doing it with us. All right. Just about 2 more questions. Actually, 3 more questions.
Or 4.
Or 4. But let's we know how the Jehovah's Witness community, they're definitely watching us right now, and our families are definitely watching us right now. The black sheep. Oh man, she's in trouble.
Man, I am in trouble.
She set this all up.
It did. That's some instead.
So, if there is something that you would like to say to your immediate family.
To my immediate family.
And they're looking at you right there. That's them right there looking at you. So if you, or we can actually, you know what? Let's flip it. What do you want to say to the ex-Jehovah's Witness community from your
To the ex-Jehovah's Witness. Listen,
Yeah,
I'm
you
excited about that.
You see that? Do you see that?
We are in this together, right?
Yes.
It's a whole different vibe. We're
Yes.
in this together. You're not alone. You're loved and appreciated, even though we don't know you. Like, personally, we want to know you. I feel like the worst thing is to feel like you're alone. And I feel like that's part of the indoctrination, is to make you feel alone and make you feel vulnerable, make you feel like nobody cares. So I think, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the suicide rate among ex-Jehovah's Witnesses is very high.
It's very high. Yes.
Because of that, because I definitely had those very dark moments. So for the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, like, listen, we're in this together. We know all of your pain, all of your struggle, and all of your hurt. And we definitely want to see you win and just be the best version of who you're created to be.
That's right.
That's for them.
There is some unconditional love out here waiting for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the most interesting people are the ones that, have the tattoos and the piercings.
That's right.
They've been through some stuff. They got some
Be the black sheep. Be the black sheep.
Black Sheep Inc.
So let's get back. What do you want to say? Let's get back to it.
Listen, to my family that's still in, I still love you. I just want you to be happy, and I want you to do whatever is in your heart to do. I personally wish you would wake up and have that awakening moment where you feel like, hey, there's more to life than just going to meetings, and there's more to life than just going to assemblies and reading the same literature over and over again. I really wish you would tap into who you were created to be, because really you're doing a disservice to the universe by staying trapped in something that you really don't want to be in. So I pray and I hope, and I hope that you wake up, you have that moment of enlightenment, and you really truly accept who you are, because it's okay.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I hope y'all listen. I hope you listen. And also, check this out. My last question, final question. What does the future look like for Summer? Because it's summer, your name is bright as anything, and we are in that summer weather coming up. So,
Listen.
What does the future look like for you?
I think it looks very promising. And I'm excited to live the next chapter. I feel like my first half was indoctrinated, but now I get to be who I am authentically.
Yes.
Be my authentic self and meet new people and amazing people and get relationships and do what I would like to do without the restraint of who's not going to like it.
Yes. Your wings are so wide right now.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You're flying. I'm enjoying seeing you soar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure. There was what was it? There was something else I was gonna say real quick to that. But I forgot.
Okay. It happens.
But thank you so much, Summer. And thank you so much for telling us and sharing with us your experience. I think that there's going to be many more experiences that you're actually now going to share in, because with Summer being our first interview, she's gonna go through this whole season with us for sure.
Yeah.
So don't forget that, guys. We are here for you. We love you guys, both the Jehovah's Witness community and as well as the ex-Jehovah's Witness community. We're here with open arms. And to our ex-Jehovah's Witness community, we say cheers.
Cheers. We love you.
Love you. Love you, son.
Love you.
All right. That's a cut.